Evidence today. And tonight, the new mystery phone calls revealed. And now the vote this evening, where this goes next and how quickly. Meantime, President Trump tonight overseas, his reaction furious, calling it all a hoax, as he's received by the Queen and then heads to Downing Street. And what he said to the French president, who replied to the president, let's be serious. Also breaking tonight, Kamala Harris drops out of the race, what she reveals in her very candid message. In other news, the second school scare in 2 days. This time, authorities say a student stabbing a school officer. The officer then opens fire. The new surveillance just out tonight. The urgent hunt right now. 4 teens after their escape, 2 accused of murder. Authorities are putting out this video asking for the public's help. The scare at Boston's Logan Airport. The man who got through security and then got into a cargo hold on a JetBlue plane. The Chicago police chief fired, breaking his silence, what he said today after being found in his SUV. The actress tonight saying they are lucky to be alive. 13 members of her family marking the holiday. 2 went to the hospital. What was discovered, they then got everyone out. And the consumer alert this evening, ready to eat salads and sushi, and the new recall tonight.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a very busy Tuesday night, and we begin with this historic next step tonight in the impeachment inquiry. The House Intelligence Committee revealing late today its 300-page impeachment report, and this evening the committee now voting on it. All of this as President Trump and the First Lady are on the world stage, meeting with NATO leaders at 10 Downing Street in London and welcomed to Buckingham Palace. Here at home, the Democratic chair of the committee, Adam Schiff, before the cameras today, saying the investigation found the president, quote, placed his own personal and political interests above the national interests of the United States. And he laid out evidence, including new phone calls in this investigation. So tonight, the vote and where this goes next, all moving very quickly. And the president is now responding. ABC's Terry Moran leads us off from the Hill tonight.
A historic moment in the Capitol. Adam Schiff stepping before the cameras to lay out the case for impeachment, accusing President Trump of subverting U.S. national security through a scheme to exploit Ukraine's desperate need for U.S. military assistance in their fight against Russian-backed separatists.
At the same time, there was something President Trump desperately wanted and believed that he needed, and that was an investigation that would damage the rival that he feared apparently the most, Joe Biden, as well as an investigation into a debunked conspiracy theory that it was Ukraine, not Russia, that interfered in our last election.
Schiff said the evidence his committee has amassed shows that the president wanted Ukraine to announce those, quote, sham investigations, and he was willing to withhold nearly $400 million in U.S. taxpayer-funded military aid to Ukraine. That aid did finally flow to Ukraine, but only after a whistleblower's complaint triggered an investigation. And there's new evidence since the Intelligence Committee's public hearing, Schiff said. Phone records between the president's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, and the Office of Management and Budget.
Certainly the phone records show that there was considerable coordination among the parties, including the White House.
And in a surprise development, the 300-page committee report accuses some of those closest to President Trump, including Vice President Mike Pence, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, and Acting Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney, of being knowledgeable of or active participants in the president's scheme. Schiff pointing to this moment, Mulvaney acknowledging in the White House briefing room that there was a quid pro quo.
And I have news for everybody. Get over it. There's going to be political influence in foreign policy.
Are we prepared to just get over it?
If we do, Schiff warned.
We are signaling to any future president they can engage in whatever corruption, malfeasance, or negligence, and they are beyond accountability.
Tonight, Republicans, who already released their own 123-page report, fired back.
They're having one big problem, and the big problem is the president did nothing wrong, and they can't prove it.
And so let's get to Terry Moran. He's live on the Hill tonight. And Terry, the House Intelligence Committee is voting this evening, we know, to then send this report to the Judiciary Committee. That committee already set to begin hearings tomorrow.
That's right, David. Those hearings will give the committee a chance to take a look at this report and decide on whether to charge the president with impeachable offenses, articles of impeachment. They're looking at abuse of power, obstruction of Congress, and obstruction of justice. But they are moving fast. Votes are expected in the committee and maybe in the full House on the impeachment of Donald Trump by the end of the year. David?
Terry Moran leading us off from the Hill tonight. Terry, thank you. A furious President Trump reacting to the impeachment report overseas in London, calling it a hoax as he's received by the Queen Queen and then by the Prime Minister at 10 Downing Street. And that wasn't the only headline he made today. There was the moment with French President Emmanuel Macron. What he said to him, Macron replying, "Let's be serious." ABC's chief White House correspondent Jonathan Karl traveling with the president.
As Democrats released their impeachment report, President Trump was heading into a reception at number 10 Downing Street, hosted by the British Prime Minister. On the world stage, with impeachment very much on his mind.
I think it's very unpatriotic of the Democrats to put on a performance where they do that. I do. I think it's a bad thing for our country.
Later, the president made a severe personal attack on the man leading the impeachment charge for Democrats.
I think Adam Schiff is a deranged human being. I think he grew up with a complex for lots of reasons that are obvious. I think he's a very sick man.
The president has blocked his top advisors from testifying in the House impeachment inquiry. But today he said that will all change in the trial that would follow in the Republican-led Senate following a vote by the House to impeach.
So when it's fair, and it will be fair in the Senate, I would love to have Mike Pompeo. I'd love to have Mick. I'd love to have Rick Perry and many other people testify. But I don't want them to testify when this is a total fix.
Today, the president also had harsh words for the president of France, who recently suggested that the NATO alliance was becoming brain dead.
That is a very, very nasty statement to essentially 28, including them, 28 countries.
But Trump himself has had harsh words of his own for NATO.
NATO is obsolete, it's old, it's fat, it's sloppy.
There was also this uncomfortable moment between Trump and Macron when the issue of what to do with ISIS prisoners in Syria came up.
They're mostly from Europe. Would you like some nice ISIS fighters? I can give them to you. You can take everyone you want.
Let's be serious. It is true that you have foreign fighters coming from Europe, but this is a tiny minority of the overall problem we have in the region.
John Karl unpacking a very busy day from London. And John, the president also making news tonight and moving markets, suggesting he could put off a trade deal with China.
The president has recently said that a trade deal with China suggested it could be imminent, but today he said that he may want to wait until after the presidential election. David, that comment sent stock markets reeling around the world, losses the president dismissed as, quote, peanuts.
John Karl with us from London. John, we appreciate it, and we should note that ABC News will carry the start of the Judiciary Committee's impeachment hearing. That's tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. right here. We'll see you then. We move on tonight here and to the major news in the race for 2020. Senator Kamala Harris announcing she's dropping out. Once drawing huge crowds, one of the top candidates on the Democratic side. So what happened? What she said today in her very candid message to her supporters. ABC's Lindsay Davis on the campaign again tonight.
A campaign that started with so much promise brought to an abrupt end today, even before the first vote was cast.
I'm not a billionaire. I can't fund my own campaign.
Senator Kamala Harris, who sought to be the first black female president of the United States, calling the decision one of the hardest of her life.
I cannot tell you that I have a path forward if I don't believe I do.
She shot to the top tier early, famously taking on Biden for his previous position on mandated busing to integrate schools.
There was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools. And she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me.
But Harris started to plateau in the polls, often struggling to defend her record as a prosecutor.
When you had the power, why didn't you try to affect change then?
So I'm glad you asked me this question. I made a decision that if I was going to have the ability to reform the system, I would try to do it from the inside. Was I able to get enough done? Absolutely not.
Over the weekend, signs the campaign was unraveling. The New York Times obtaining a resignation letter from a Harris aide who said, "I no longer have confidence in our campaign or its leadership."
And for those at home keeping track of the numbers, the Democrats now 15 candidates. Only 7 had qualified for the next debate. Kamala Harris was one of them. That brings it down to 6 at this point. And you have learned from inside the campaign that they put their heads together. They really thought about this over the Thanksgiving holiday.
Senator Harris told her staff today that throughout the Thanksgiving holiday, she worked round the clock to try to figure out how they could make this work. But after doing a campaign audit, she said she simply did not have the money to move things forward, David.
All right, Lindsay Davies, who's covering the race for us. Lindsay, thank you. We turn next tonight and to the second school scare in 24 hours in Wisconsin, this time in Oshkosh. An armed student allegedly stabbing an officer at a high school. The officer then opening fire. ABC's Alex Perez is on the scene tonight.
Tonight, panic and fear rippling through another Wisconsin high school.
I believe I have a very bad wrist injury that was bleeding very bad. I got one student I believe is shot.
At 9:12 a.m., a call coming in from a school resource officer at Oshkosh West High School. Police say a 16-year-old student armed with a sharpened object attacked the officer.
The student produced a weapon and stabbed the officer, at which time the officer fired on the student, striking the student one time.
The school on lockdown, some students evacuating the building in the chaos.
It was really scary. They said lockdown, but everyone was running out of the school.
Anxious parents waiting in line for hours to be reunited with their kids.
Super scary for a parent. I am very relieved that, both of my kids are okay.
This less than 24 hours after this 17-year-old student was shot in another Wisconsin school. Tonight, authorities releasing an image of officers giving the wounded suspect medical attention. Police now saying he was aiming a pellet gun he brought to settle a dispute with another student. And investigators say he had a handgun in his backpack.
And David, investigators here do not believe the two shootings are connected. The injuries to the teacher and student in today's incident are not life-threatening. It's been a tough 24 hours for a lot of people here in Wisconsin. David?
No question about that, Alex. Thank you. And there is an urgent hunt at this hour in Nashville and beyond. After this newly released surveillance video tonight, 4 teenagers escaping a juvenile detention facility, 2 of them accused of murder. Authorities releasing this surveillance footage showing the teens sprinting from the building. They're asking for the public's help. And tonight, new reporting on how they were able to make that escape. Here's Steve Osinsami.
Juvenile authorities in Tennessee are releasing these security camera videos of 4 teenagers seen here escaping from a detention center in Nashville Saturday night.
We had some youth escape from the juvenile detention center.
Even though they're underage, police are identifying all 4. 2 of them, 16-year-old Decorius Wright and 17-year-old Morris Marsh, are accused of murder and were awaiting trial. Authorities say all 4 of the boys should be considered dangerous. The teens escaped during a work detail when a security guard left a multi-purpose room to respond to a fight. In doing so, she left the 4 youth in the recreation area unsupervised, according to a report. As they're running out the door, you see 2 of them throw off their safety vests.
In approximately 35 minutes between their escape and us being notified.
Several staff members have been placed on administrative leave while authorities continue to investigate how this happened. All of the teens are still on the run. Steve Osinsami, ABC News, Atlanta.
Steve, thank you. And that powerful nor'easter that moved up the coast, still hammering parts of New England tonight. And look at what the storm left behind. This is Albany, New York. Slammed with more than 22 inches of snow. That's the most since 1993. Unbelievable. And on I-90, this tractor-trailer jackknifing overnight. Here are the pictures sliding right off of the highway. And in Scituate, Massachusetts, massive waves crashing into homes on the coast there. So let's get right to meteorologist Rob Marciano tracking it all again tonight for us. Hey, Rob.
Hi, David. We're nearly done with this storm, but a lot of cold air coming in behind it and still snowing. You can see it on the radar scope. Lake effect snows are going to be setting up, and it will be icy in the morning because it will be sub-freezing. Watching another storm coming into the west. This one's got higher snow levels, so more of a flood threat. Anaheim to Tijuana, flash flood watches posted during the day tomorrow, and a storm behind that, bigger, stronger. That's coming in Friday and Saturday night with more wind, more rain, and more snow for California. David?
All right, Rob Marciano, thank you. And one more note overseas and from London tonight. We know the Queen welcomed President Trump and world leaders at Buckingham Palace today, but a lot of headlines on the royal who was out of sight, Prince Andrew, after that new bombshell interview from his accuser this week. And President Trump today was asked about Prince Andrew as well. Here's ABC senior foreign correspondent Ian Pannell.
Tonight, the Queen welcoming the President and First Lady to Buckingham Palace, but noticeably absent Prince Andrew, forced to step down from his royal duties after his disastrous interview about Jeffrey Epstein. The President today asked about the Prince.
I don't know Prince Andrew, but it's a tough story. It's a very tough story. I don't know him, no.
The British media pouncing, proving the president has met the prince before, republishing photos like this one